From Lagos, Nigeria, this is News Central. I'm Adeshawa Josh. Our top stories tonight. Our State Speaker of Lagos House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, reinstated following resignation of Mojisola Miranda. President Tinubu approves licenses for 11 new private universities as he presides over Federal Executive Council meeting. And European leaders offer support to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky following deadlocked meeting at the White House.
In business, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, slashes petrol pump prices to 860 naira per litre.
And in sports, Shooting Stars and Rivers United share the spoil in Ibadan as they race for the CAF Champions League qualification.
Welcome everybody. Tonight begins right now. We begin tonight with the dramatic turn of events at the Lagos State House of Assembly, where the impeached Speaker Mudashiru Obasa was re-elected at plenary on Monday. The move follows the sudden resignation of Mojisola Miranda, who replaced Obasa as Speaker 7 weeks ago. Reports of Obasa's return as Speaker of the Assembly began as mere speculations, but quickly transformed into a high-stakes power shift with heightened security, tense moments, and strategic resignations. News Central's lead correspondent Bernard Akede was at the House and brings us the latest.
For over a week, uncertainty loomed over the Lagos State House of Assembly. Political watchers and stakeholders anticipated a shake-up, but no one could have predicted just how choreographed the day's events would unfold. By morning, the atmosphere around the Assembly complex was already changed. Security operatives were deployed in greater numbers, visibly armed and stationed at strategic points. Certain roads leading to the premises were cordoned off, and all vehicles entering the premises were subjected to thorough searches. Meanwhile, a directive from the acting clerk of the House instructed legislative staff to work from home, a move that sparked concerns among workers. The chairman of the Labour Congress Lagos chapter weighed in on the issue.
There has been a directive that the workers should stay away for some days. And we've also seen another counter directives that ordered the workers to come back to work today. So, all this pushing around is something that is also of another concern to us.
Then, by afternoon, the signs began to clear. Lawmakers began arriving at the Assembly complex one after another, signaling that a plenary session was imminent. Soon after, the legislators gathered inside the chamber and the session commenced. First, a series of speeches followed, with lawmakers taking turns to pay tribute to Speaker Mojisola Miranda.
Because you are a rich builder, you are a team player, and you've shown us love. You've shown affection to every one of us.
But then the real drama began. One after the other, key lawmakers started resigning from their positions. Each resignation was swiftly followed by nominations and votes to fill the vacancies.
Resignation as Deputy Chief of the local Lagos State House of Assembly.
Then came the moment that had been widely speculated. Speaker Mojisola Miranda formally announced her resignation. As she stepped down, the chamber erupted in applause.
At this point, I take a bow as your speaker, and I step down as your speaker of this great house.
However, in a swift and unexpected twist, she was immediately nominated for the position of Deputy Speaker. Without contest, she was voted in, paving the way for the final act of the day's unfolding political script. With the Speaker's seat now vacant, a nomination was put forward. The name called was that of Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, the man who had been impeached just days earlier. In a unanimous decision, he was reinstated as the 10th Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
So as I have said, today is not the speech-making day. We really create time to come back and address it.
Outside the Assembly complex, a mix of emotions played out. Supporters of Honorable Miranda cheered as she left, while reactions inside the chamber reflected the weight of the moment. As the dust settles on this political reset, many questions remain. What led to the behind-the-scene negotiations that orchestrated this transaction? And what does this mean for the power dynamics within the Lagos State House of Assembly moving forward? For now, however, one thing is certain. The Lagos House of Assembly has once again proven to be a stage where political scripts unfold with precision. And after a long week of drama, the barricades behind me have finally been taken away, and one by one, the security vehicles are beginning to depart the Lagos House of Assembly. Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa has been reinstated as the 10th Speaker of the House of Assembly, and his deputy being Honorable Mojisola Miranda. The drama has been long and has been worth watching. But the question is this the end? In Lagos for News Central, I'm Bernard Akede.
Is this the end or is it the beginning? Habib Aruna, journalist and public affairs analyst, joins me now in the studio to speak on the ouster and reinstatement of Mudashiru Obasa. Good to have you in the studio. You know, political analysts are calling it the most fascinating political comeback in recent time in that assembly. What do you make of it?
Well, I wouldn't describe it as such. If you are a more than casual observer of Lagos politics, and specifically events in the Lagos State House of Assembly, you will not be surprised of what is going on, of what happened today, of the dramatic turnaround that took place, and the comeback kid, Obasa. Lagos is a state controlled by one party. Lagos Assembly is a House of Assembly controlled by one party. You can hardly see any Labour Party member or PDP member. So anything that happens in that assembly is seen as a family affair. You know, so it's difficult for you to predict what will happen. But if you look at the way the state has been run since 1999, you'll not be surprised. Because all of them are, in quote, children of the leader of the party, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, between the last 24 hours, many things happened in the state. Series of meetings, and people were running inter-skelter. Leaders were meeting lawmakers, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, there was the big elephant in the room that was not there, but the interventions of Baba Konde and Chief Olusegun Osioba were very consequential in the eventual resolution of what happened.
Let me take you up on that quickly. It was a family affair. The state has been run by one political party since 1999. Would you then describe what we witnessed at the Lagos State House of Assembly on Monday as democratic, or the display of party politics influence?
It's both. What is democracy? This is not taken by the majority. You know, majority you have your way, minority you have your say. That is democracy. When I look, in both ways look at it, you know. But as I said, the context here is that the dominant party in Lagos State is APC. You know, and APC leaders intervened in the crisis in the assembly. You know, someone was removed in January. Someone was removed. Then they insisted that he has been removed. Then there was intervention by party leaders. Then it's been brought back. People may not like it, but the majority member of parliament came up today again and said, yes, we remove him, but now again we want him back. That's exactly what happened.
It's just confusing. As you can see, we saw Desmond Elliott there nearly crying, and he muttered the word I can't say on television. We saw another lawmaker there almost busting out in tears. So if you say it was a unanimous decision, word on the street is that Lagos lawmakers who voted on Monday to reinstate Obasa actually may not have done it because they were happy. They did it against their wish. Can you speak to us about what could have gone on behind the scenes to make the same lawmakers who impeached him to come back about 7 weeks later to say, okay, fine, you're going to be our speaker again?
There are many ways to look at it. One, these people are not kids. There was no any reports that someone put a gun on their head for them to decide otherwise. That is one. Two is the fact that they must have been pressurized either way, implicitly or explicitly, for them to do what they did. And the last one is that even if they were pressurized, the fact remains that some became emotional. The way Miranda stepped down for Basa. So during the session, to wish her well, some were talking and they became emotional in the process. You know, you can understand. These are the people that were supporting this woman. Now all of a sudden, the dramatic turn of events. Now the man had to go. The woman had to go for Basa to come back. So it's a natural course of event. But at the same time, as I said, they are no kids. You know, if they decided to capitulate under some pressure, the history will judge them.
Do we know what the long-term gain here is? Because there are some political analysts saying that Obasa's impeachment in the first place would not have been without the knowledge of the so-called party elders. And then 7 weeks later, if going by what you just said, that leaders were involved in his reinstatement, why was he sacked in the first place? And why is it being reinstated again? What's the long-term game here?
There were two allegations against Obasa, we call it. The first one was that the man has been too high-handed in dealing with his colleagues. But their colleagues, it's only first among equal. And the second one is that he has grossly misappropriated the funds of the assembly. Those are the two major offenses, allegations against him, and which they used to remove him.
Are those allegations still valid? I mean, he took the case to court.
They should decide. You see, there's something that I like, the long-term effect of this. These guys, to me, what happened today was nothing like pragmatism. It was sheer opportunism. These guys were just opportunistic. Some of them acted this way to save their political future. They did not act in a way to save democracy, to save due process, and to save the rule of law. That acted based on their interest, which is the fact that, their political future is tied somewhere.
And that's politics.
So, no. When you look at the two ways of look at it, but to me, that is not something that we should be proud of. I'm an APC member. I've sympathy for APC. But at the same time, the way Amana Obasa entered that house last week, to me, was not good enough. And I don't think we should give him a pat on the back and bring him back to office.
Before I let you go,
exactly what happened.
What impact will this have on the Assembly's electoral process going forward?
On the Assembly what?
What sort of impact will this have on, the whole House?
At the immediate, there will be little impact. But in the long run, Nigerian allegation will not forget in a hurry what took place today. But at the immediate, these guys are in charge for now. There's nothing you can do about it.
Is this the end of the drama?
No, simplistically, it cannot be the end. Simplistically. But in the long run, it will have an effect. But I think anything we are doing, we should look at the future of democracy. How will history judge us going forward? But as I said, at the immediate, there are winners and losers. But in the long run, the democracy that lost today.
Habib Arana, journalist and public affairs analyst, thank you so much for coming into the studio tonight.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Always.
Well, staying with politics in Lagos, the governorship candidate of the opposition People's Democratic Party in the 2023 general election in Lagos, Abdulaziz Adediran, has withdrawn his membership. Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, announced his resignation at a press briefing on Monday, citing that what he described as indiscipline and anti-party activities as reasons for his departure. Adediran came third with 62,449 votes behind Babajide Sanwo-Olu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, who got 762,134 votes, and Badibo Redsweaver of the Labour Party, who had 312,329 votes. The former gubernatorial candidate didn't disclose the new party he'd be joining, but says extensive consultations will be done before he and his supporters would be pitching their tent with any political party in the state.
I'm here before you today with a heavy heart but a clear conscience. We have dedicated ourselves to the ideals of democracy, good governance, and the pursuit of a better Lagos. However, it has become evident that the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, both at the national and state levels, has failed to uphold this principle. The persistent anti-party activities, the internal sabotage.
Coming up tonight, House of Representatives Committee on Constitutional Amendment extends deadline for resubmission of the proposals for the creation of new states. We have this and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Tonight on News Central. I am Adeshawa Josh. A reminder of our top stories. Ousted Speaker of Lagos House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, reinstated following resignation of Mojisola Miranda. President Tinubu approves licenses for 11 new private universities as he presides over Federal Executive Council meeting. And European leaders offer support to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky following deadlocked meeting at the White House. The House of Representatives Committee on Constitutional Amendment has extended the deadline for resubmitting proposals for the creation of new states from March the 5th to the 26th. The decision was announced by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, and it is expected to give proponents more time to refine their submissions and ensure compliance with Section 8 of the 1999 Constitution. The extension comes after the committee initially rejected 31 proposals for new states due to non-compliance with constitutional requirements. The federal government says it plans to leverage technology to monitor mining operations in the country, and this was made known by the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, while speaking to newsmen after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. Dr. Alake says the council has approved the purchase of satellite equipment at the cost of 2.5 billion naira.
The meeting was chaired by President Bola Tinubu with cabinet members in attendance. After the meeting, some ministers gave details of what transpired at the executive chambers of the council. First, the Minister of Works, David Umahi.
4 memos approved by the Federal Executive Council. The first one was approval for the award of contract for the dualization of Oduopani E2, spur at Idendem Etam in Ekote Bene Road in Cross River and Akwa Ibom State. And the total amount is 55 billion. The next one is the approval for the award of contract for the dualization of Ibadan Elori Road, Section 2, which is in Oyo Ogbomosho in Oyo State. You had asked questions about this road. God has helped it to come to be approved. It's 147 kilometers in favor of JRBs to be constructed on a reinforced concrete pavement. You have another one, approval for the completion of outstanding of Abuja Kaduna Zaria Kano Road. This time is Section 2. That's 82 kilometers by 2. That's 164 kilometers. And it's awarded for 507 billion. And then the last one is the construction of a flyover at Abakpa, bordering 82 Division, Enugu. A flyover is to be constructed to relieve traffic jam there, and the contractor is CCECC, and the amount is 24 billion.
Then the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake.
Today at the FEC, a memo was approved for the Solid Minerals Ministry, specifically to procure an integrated solution framework to combat unlicensed, unregulated, underreported mining activities.
Alake says that government is introducing technology to its monitoring of mining operations in the country.
With all of these policy initiatives that are working, we'll still see the need to introduce technology into our overall tactics and strategy. And that is the basis of today's memo that was approved by FEC. So we are procuring satellite equipment, satellite gadgets that will be installed in strategic places all over the country. Nigeria is so vast. So to police every inch of our large territory is almost impossible. So all we have to do is to introduce gadgets, technological gadgets that can enable us to see what's going on even in the remotest parts of the country.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation says that another Executive Council meeting has been fixed for Wednesday, March the 5th. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
President Bola Tinubu has approved provisional licenses for 11 new private universities in Nigeria, marking a significant expansion of the country's higher education sector. This decision was made during the Federal Executive Council meeting on Monday. The president's special advisor on media and public communications, Sunday Dare, says the government is committed to expanding opportunities in education and infrastructure in the country. We have more stories coming up after this short break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Agricultural experts are seeking more opportunities in the agricultural sector. But before we get to that story, let's take a look at peace in Plateau. The national president of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Othman Ngelzama, has called on farmers and herders in Plateau State to do all within their powers to keep the peace in the state. The association's president was speaking in Jos, the state capital, while responding to questions from journalists on the state's security challenges. Correspondent Chizoba Anyowe tells us more. I will bring you that report as soon as we can. Borno State Commissioner for Budget and Planning has officially presented the state's approved 2025 budget, totaling more than 615 billion naira. During a press briefing in Maiduguri, the commissioner emphasized that the approved budget aims to drive economic recovery, security enhancement, and infrastructural development across the state. Welcome back. The Vice Chancellor of Michael Okpara University, Umudike, Abia State, Professor Madwe BBC Iwe, says Nigeria can grow enough food for its citizens if it is prepared to do so. At a media chat on Monday, Professor Iwe added that there is a need to have an additional university in Abia State to accommodate all those desirous of a university education.
Produce what you eat. Eat what you produce. That's the way out. Even in the olden days, there were gardens. And today, there are still gardens. In fact, today we call it smart agriculture, that you can even cultivate inside your bedrooms. Can cultivate inside your bedroom. So it is possible to feed Nigeria if we are conscious of the fact that we need to feed Nigeria. It's possible to eat balanced diet every morning if you are conscious of that. It is possible for the poor and the rich to have food in Nigeria if we are conscious of that. And that's what we are teaching now because if the universities are employed this year, we'll be having about 5 to 6 years of colo, a vacuum that is going to be a big problem to Nigerian universities. Because right now we are what a university calls top heavy. Everybody has become associate professor. We don't even have senior lecturers as such again.
The Lagos State government is set to launch a new initiative that will eradicate malaria from the state. The program, tagged the Pathway to Malaria Pre-Elimination and Digitization Program, aims to reduce malaria prevalence to below 1% through digital technology and also strengthen case management and expand public-private partnerships. News Central's Oluwakemi Alimi has more.
Lagos, with a malaria prevalence of under 3%, still records about 900,000 cases annually, impacting productivity and healthcare costs. At a press briefing ahead of the launch of the Pathway to Malaria Pre-Elimination and Digitization Program, the Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, revealed that the initiative aims to cut malaria prevalence below 1% by integrating digital technology into malaria surveillance and case management.
The Lagos State Ministry of Health has designed the initiative to address critical gaps in malaria diagnosis and treatment, especially in the private sector.
Special Advisor to the Governor on Health, Dr. Kemi Ogunyemi, emphasized the need for public behavioral change, urging Lagosians to stop self-diagnosing malaria and instead adopt a test-before-treatment approach.
So we want to eliminate, I think it's malaria. How do we eliminate it? Like the Honorable Commissioner said, by being treated, by being tested. And there's been a lot of task shifting, a lot of training for the pharmacists that they will test you before they give you this malaria drugs.
This initiative will focus on improving diagnostic accuracy, reducing inappropriate antibiotic use, digitizing healthcare services, and linking patients to social health insurance. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Oluwakemi Alimi.
Borno State Commissioner for Budget and Planning has officially presented the state's approved 2025 budget, totaling more than 615 billion naira. During a press briefing in Maiduguri, the commissioner emphasized that the approved budget aims to drive economic recovery, enhance security and infrastructure development in the state. And during the presentation, the commissioner emphasized that the government remains dedicated to restoring communities affected by insurgency and improve citizens' livelihoods through investment.
The 2025 budget is in line with the 2025-2027 medium-term expenditure framework, 10-year strategic transformation initiative, and 25-year development plan for effective resource management, collaboration and communication, increase in productivity and efficiency, improve decision-making, risk management, and achievement of goals. As we strive to enhance good governance and optimize resource allocation, the adaptation of technology has become indispensable. That's why we are introducing the automation system of the budgeting system in the state. Government has invested heavily in developing and implementing a robust automation financial management system designed to streamline our processes, eliminate redundancies, and minimize the potential for human error. In view of the foregoing, the ministry is requesting all accounting officers, directors of finance and directors of planning to please adhere to the budget disciplines and support the ministry in the implementation of the software in their various MDs.
Elsewhere in Africa, Gabon's interim president Brice Nguema has announced his decision to run for president in the nation's presidential poll set for April the 12th. Nguema seized power in a military coup in 2023 that ended the long-standing rule of his predecessor, Ali Bongo, and his family over the oil-rich nation. While Gabonese largely welcomed Bongo's ouster, some analysts were concerned the junta would seek to remain in power. European leaders have reaffirmed their support for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, pledging to help establish terms for a potential peace deal. This commitment comes amid ongoing Russian aggression and uncertainty over U.S. support following President Donald Trump's public criticism of Zelensky during a meeting at the White House. The move aims to bolster Ukraine's sovereignty and democratic future as 18 allied nations also vow to increase security, spending, and safeguard any potential truce.
Ми розраховуємо на допомогу Сполучених Штатів Америки. Безумовно. І я вважаю, що припинення такої допомоги – це допомога буде тоді виключно Путіну. І тому вважаю, що Сполучені Штати – представники цивілізованого світу, лідери цього світу, і думаю, вони точно не будуть допомагати Путіну. Але як президент України я працюю зі своєю командою над будь-якими викликами саме для того, щоб у моєї армії не було сюрпризів. Ми сьогодні говоримо про перші кроки, і тому, поки їх не буде на папері, я не хотів би про них дуже детально говорити. До угоди про закінчення війни ще дуже-дуже далеко. Ніхто всі ці кроки не розпочав. Мир, який ми будемо передбачати в майбутньому, повинен бути справедливим, чесним, а головне – сталий мир. І він повинен бути дуже конкретним, з дуже конкретними гарантіями безпеки і з дуже конкретними носіями цих гарантій безпеки, з конкретною відповідальністю.
We'll be talking money and sports after this short break. Do stay with us. And it's time for some money talks with our business correspondent, Joanna. Joanna, I hear that NNPC is reducing the price of petrol.
Yes, indeed. It's a sweet smell of competition, of course. I will get into that and much more after this break.
All right.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
And the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has announced a reduction in pump price of premium motor spirits to 860 naira per litre. This decision comes amid fluctuations in global crude oil prices, and the new price, which took effect on Monday, marks a significant drop from the previous average of 920 naira per litre. The reduction by the country's largest fuel supplier, NNPCL, has sparked a wave of competitive pricing amongst private marketers. On February 13th, NNPC had reduced pump price solely in Lagos from 960 naira per litre to 945 naira per litre. The current reduction comes less than a week after Dangote Petroleum Refinery slashed its ex-depot price to 825 naira. And Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals has announced that it will refund customers who purchase premium motor spirits at rates higher than the advertised price from any of its key partners across Nigeria. The refinery stated that this is part of its ongoing efforts to ensure that Nigerians are the primary beneficiaries of the price reduction. In a statement issued over the weekend, the refinery confirmed it will reduce 65 naira per litre on the over 200,000 metric tons of PMS purchased by marketers at the old gantry price of 890 naira per litre, prior to the new rate of 825 naira per litre. And after a hiatus of over 17 years, Libya is preparing to host its first bidding round for oil exploration. The announcement was made on Monday by Mashoud Suleiman, the acting chairman of the National Oil Corporation, during a televised address. Libya is Africa's second largest oil producer and a member of OPEC. Foreign investors have been wary of putting money into Libya, which has been in a state of chaos since the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Disputes between armed rival factions over oil revenue have often led to oil field shutdowns. And coming to the NGX, we're seeing the bears do have a hold of the market. The market is down 34 basis points today. We are seeing the oil share index down as well. And if we come to sectoral performances, we are seeing basically a reflection of what happened last week. All indexes are down aside from oil and gas, which is up 0.42%. That is what we're seeing as regards other sectors. And that's it on Business Tonight. I am Joanna Mustafa. Tonight continues with Adishawa.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Welcome back, everyone. The much anticipated Nigeria Premier Football League matchup is getting pretty exciting, and I have Onyeye from our sports desk to break it down for us. Onyeye.
Yes, of course, Adeshewa. It's a two-horse race between two dominant teams in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Shooting Stars and Rivers United, they are on for something big for a CAF competition slot. I'll make that available to you shortly.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
In the world of sports, the much anticipated Nigeria Premier Football League matchup between third-place Shooting Stars and second-place Rivers United ended in an entertaining draw at the Lekon Salami Stadium in Ibadan. So both sides had been hoping to win the other to keep their pace at the runaway leaders Remo Stars, who lead the table with 11 points with 11 matches to go. The result leaves both teams level at 43 points, with the race for the CAF Champions League spot still on. Only the top two teams will qualify for the prestigious Continental Tournament. In other matchups played today, we had Uche Sebastian 28-minute goal gave second from bottom Akwa United a 1-0 win over Katsina United, while Lobi Stars days sank deeper into the relegation waters following their 1-0 loss to El Kanemi Warriors in Maiduguri. Moving away from that, Nigeria is set to host the 13th ECOWAS African Wrestling Tournament in Abuja from 6th to March 2025. This is as part of celebrations marking the 50th anniversary of the West African regional body. The collaboration with the National Sport Commission is the event will be staged at the Velodrome for the Package A of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, bringing together top wrestling talents from across West African sub-region. The championship is expected to strengthen regional sport ties while showcasing Nigeria's growing stature as a hub for international sporting events. The ECOWAS African Wrestling Tournament has historically served as a breeding ground for top wrestlers who go on to represent their countries at major global competitions, including the Olympic Games. The organizers of the much-anticipated Niger Delta Sports Festival has added color to the event organization with the appointment of festival ambassadors. Nwankwo Kanu, Emmanuel Amuneke, Victor Ikpeba, and Blessing Oborodudu. They are among the strong field of accomplished athletes appointed as the festival ambassadors for the sporting event scheduled to hold from April 1 to 8 in 2025 in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. To join the list of other ambassadors, we have including Efionwan Ekpo, Tamino Siki, Atoru Dibo, Patience Igbiti, Enefio Kudobong, and Sheung Ogunkoye. Over 3,000 athletes are expected to compete in athletics, basketball, boxing, canoeing, para-athletics, power sport, football, volleyball, swimming, table tennis, weightlifting, and wrestling. Now, Fulham Football Club and Premier League sides, they have condemned racist and homophobic abuse received by defender Calvin Bassey online after he scored Sunday's FA Cup win over Manchester United. The Nigerian international had given his side the lead before halftime in the match that ended 1-1 at Old Trafford before Fulham overcame the host on penalties to qualify for the quarter-final of the FA Cup. The club said they are working on with relevant authorities to identify the perpetrators and take the strongest form of action against them, in quote. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Football Federation have also thrown their weight behind Barcy, standing firmly against all forms of discrimination, including racial abuse, against the Super Eagles defender. Finally, in the world of sport, the nomination for the 25th Laureus World Sport Award has been announced, marking the countdown to the most prestigious night in sport to be staged in Madrid on April 22, 2025. French swimmer Leon Mached, who won 4 Olympic gold medals, and pole vaulter Amand Duplantis, who claimed a second Olympic title by breaking his own world record twice, are among those shortlisted for the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award. In the Sport Women of the Year categories, we've got Spain's Bomati. She's in contention to retain her title after winning the second Ballon d'Or and leading Barcelona to a treble-winning season. She faces competition from 3-time Laureus winner Simone Biles, who secured a multiple Olympic medal, runners Sifan Hassan and Faith Kipyegon from Kenya, hurdlers Lee McLaughlin-Louvain, and tennis world number 1 Arina Sabalenka. And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyinyechi Obaro. The news continues shortly.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Sam Dandy from our entertainment desk joins me now with the latest on the Jude Okoye court case and more. Sam?
I don't even know to say if he's lucky or not, but bail set at 100 million seems like a lot for this case, but I guess all the details...
100 million what? Dollars or naira?
No, it's just naira. If it was dollars, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, trial is set for April the 14th, but I'll bring you the details after this short break.
All right.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And now in entertainment, Jude Okoye, former manager of the defunct music group P Square, has been granted bail of 100 million naira ahead of his trial for alleged fraud. Now he faces charges of laundering 1.38 billion naira, $1 million and about 34,537 pounds. Okoye pleaded not guilty and was initially remanded in the Ikoyi Correction Facility. Of course, now, this makes it really, really crazy because, hey, the bail requires Okoye to provide 2 sureties with landed properties worth 100 million naira each in Lagos. And he is prohibited from leaving the country without court approval. Now, the trial is set for the 14th of April this year. The charges stem from a long-lasting family feud between Okoye and his brothers, Paul and Peter. Now, the rift began in 2017, resulting in the split of P Square. And then we did see, although that they briefly reconciled in 2021, tensions resurfaced in 2024, with Paul accusing Peter of orchestrating Jude's arrest and Peter accusing Jude of embezzling funds. Well, I guess this is one of those cases where we say we'll watch and see how it pans out, right? April is not too far away, so let's see what happens.
I wonder how the family is, rallying around to, is it to support him now or to... I don't know what they're doing. Honestly, because the family is in disarray right now, at least as far as we know in the media. They're not all together, they're not united. It would be very sad to see him go through this alone.
Hopefully they come together, but we saw them honestly go back and forth about sticking together as a music group. And somehow he's involved in this, so we're only going to have to see how that one pans out. All right. The Oscars, of course, are everyone's lips. Everyone's talked about it. I'm just going to give you a few highlights of what was incredible about the Oscars for those who probably missed it. I think first things first, the opening ceremony started with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's performance. Everyone loved it, even though they failed to win any awards, of course, as actors, or should I say actresses. But at least on the bright side, even though Wicked had 10 nominations, they only won for 2. The good part about it is, for the first time, a black man won for costume design, which is incredible. At least we're seeing inclusivity in the industry. People were expecting Demi Moore to win, but hey, I'm excited to see a 25-year-old actress, Mickey, win, of course, for Best Actress. And I'm happy because I'm young, so to see young people do such great things is super inspiring. Zoe Saldana gave an emotional speech. Her mom was there. We all have heard and seen the accolades that Emilia Perez have won in other, incredible, nights of film awards. And to see her win this one, absolutely was so beautiful. She becomes, of course, the first Dominican American or Dominican actress of Dominican origin to win such an award. And she says she knows she's not going to be the last. I'm super excited. I wish we could go on and on about all of these, but I guess my hope and dream is to see Nigeria there next year, because we're doing great films. Nollywood being represented will be a big deal.
Let's see how that goes. Fingers crossed, actually. But it is not too far-fetched. Like, it's something we can do.
Can I say amen to that?
Right.
Well, that's much I can take on entertainment. I'm Sam Dandy.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that's the news tonight. But before we go, here's a reminder of our top stories. Ousted Speaker of Lagos House of Assembly Mudashiru Obasa reinstated following resignation of Mojisola Miranda. President Tinubu approves licenses for 11 new private universities as he presides over Federal Executive Council meeting. And European leaders offer support to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky following deadlocked meeting at the White House. Remember, you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, AVO TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Adeshewa Josh. I'll see you tomorrow.